he makes some cuts that I don't like. I'm watching film. I'm like, okay, he's going to hit it right here. No, he's not. He sees this little cutback and hits it, and he is gone. I can't wait till I'm a fan so I can come back and bark at people.
What do you hit, about 7 miles an hour when you get on the move?
If you see me running outside of our facility, call the cops because something's chasing me.
I thought you actually looked after me on the weekend. I got excited when you decided to hold the guy that beat you, and I thought we got behind the chains and I was going to get a punt.
I was just making our offense face a little bit of adversity.
Oh, how nice of you.
That was a purposeful holding call.
I thought you were doing it to be nice to me. I was like, what a good bloke for once.
For once. Welcome to Mullets on the Mic, powered by Ag American Media. I'm Tate Ratledge.
And I'm Thorson.
And today we're talking about how this podcast came to be and catching up from where we last left off.
We also get to jump in and debrief the first 2 games and also talk about everything that happened in the off-season.
We also talk about a new segment we're bringing in called Mullet Mailbag. I'm really looking forward to it, as is Brett.
Yeah, can't wait to hear from everyone. And we also have the age-old segment of the Bulldog Blind Draft, where I get to question Tate today, and we'll see how he goes.
I think I'm going to win that one. New Mullets on the Mic episodes drop weekly on YouTube and wherever you get your audio podcasts. Let's jump into it.
Do you want to explain the new name here?
Yeah, so we've moved on from Real Talk. Thankful for all the people over there and what they've done for us, but we decided to branch out, and we're here now with Mullets on the Mic and kind of starting our own new journey in the podcast world, getting this thing rolling. And this is obviously our first episode, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, should be good. Let's debrief. AG America obviously taking us on board, so cheers to them. Now, we do have our first segment, a good one, called Hair of the Dog.
It's just kind of a rundown of what's gone on since the last episode, whether that be the game we just had, a few practices, what's gone on, stuff like that.
I'm excited to be back. Obviously, we haven't had a chat in a while.
It's been, what, 2 months?
I think a bit longer.
2 months,
since
3 months?
before Australia.
3 months?
So,
no, yeah, Brett likes taking half the summer off to be home drinking beer and doing a bunch of nonsense with his Aussie friends.
Doing a little bit more specific training, which does involve golf.
What training were you doing? How many balls did you kick while you were back home?
A lot. I was probably punting every second day, but golf every other day. So the good news is we have 2 games to debrief.
We do, and a whole off season. I mean, a whole summer workout.
Yeah, workouts.
Thing that I don't know if you really did anything.
Workouts, yeah.
But I do. I do remember when you first got back from home, and it was your first team run. Ooh, how was that one?
I got looked after, thankfully. Coach Sinclair had to pull me. I don't know.
Did. I remember Sinclair told you to. It was like, Thorson, step out for these last 2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this guy.
I was like, at one point, I was going to be like, nah, I'm going to get through this. And then I made a business decision to listen to Coach and go watch the rest of the running. So
camp was kind of brutal this year, I'm not going to lie.
Camp was a lot. We obviously had a new punt returner. So lucky for me, I got to punt a bit extra. So my legs didn't feel too good after about day 3. So the good news was we only then had another 11 days after that to keep going. So, yeah. I
do think there was a different kind of intensity to camp this year, just especially with who we started off playing.
Yeah.
Obviously a really good, respectable team. Clemson's Clemson, and it's a top 15 matchup right off the bat in Atlanta. So
yeah, I liked it also. I actually got to punt. So, but I got to punt last year.
Yeah. We didn't start off too great against UT.
We actually had more punts against UT Martin.
Clemson had a really good defense.
Yeah, they were.
Their front 7 was really physical and really they were really good up front. I think everybody that played on their defensive line was really good.
Yeah.
And it was a good challenge to start off the year. And I think it kind of showed what our offense could be. Our defense obviously had a phenomenal showing. And then offense, we started out slow, picked it up in the second half. That was a fun game, fun environment. I always enjoy playing in the Bends.
Yeah, that's a good spot. By about the 3rd drive, I'll say from watching, from the 3rd drive, Carson just stood in the pocket and threw a dot to someone. And I was like, oh no. He looks comfortable.
Yeah, he's comfortable in that pocket.
Yeah.
Our goal is to obviously do a good job protecting him, which he does a good job himself, checking us into right protections and stuff. He sees the defense really well and gets us into the right looks. He's looked like a pro quarterback. He's been standing back there making the right reads, making the right checks. So having a guy like that behind you just gives you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to watch. Obviously for me, 3rd downs, it's funny getting up there, but then knowing in my head, we're very likely to like make this third down. We know we're going to get a chance to do it. So it's a funny one, but he looks good. What about that O-line?
We have the chance to be really good up front this year. Of course, we have to go out and do that, but we definitely have the talent and the size and the physicality up front to be really good. And of course, having a good back behind you helps, and we have a few of those. So they make us look good every now and then. Trevor, Branson, Nate, Cash. I mean, we have a stable of running backs behind us. So it definitely gives you a lot more confidence blocking in the run game with those guys behind you, knowing they can make plays. I think if we do a good job protecting Carson and we're able to run the ball this year, we have a chance to be really good on offense.
Are you looking for that? Like, is that pretty much, obviously you want to come out every game and kind of just be ready to go, but you get a few run plays early, you get to hit someone, you get to like get moving. Does that get you going? Does that kind of like help kickstart?
Yeah, definitely. I've always said like running the ball as an offensive lineman is how you get in a groove, like how you get going. Like pass plays, you can drop back and pass protect, but running the ball is really how you get in that groove of playing well and kind of getting things rolling. After a few good run plays, you're like, okay, ready. I'm good to go now, because you can warm up as much as you want. You got to get some game reps before you're ready to go.
Do you like getting out on the move, or you prefer like the?
Oh, I love hitting a corner. I love hitting skill players. Offensive lineman. Every offensive lineman should have a hard on thinking about hitting a skill guy on a pull play, on a pin and pull play or something.
Is there just like
sorry.
Is there like a certain call? Like obviously I don't know play calls, but that that's the call you're getting out and you hear it in the huddle and that just like gets it's a trigger word.
Oh yeah, any of our pin and pulls. Yeah, any of our pin and pull schemes. That's when you're like, give me a 3-tech so I can pull. But yeah, or like a screen you get to run out. Like against Clemson, I got one.
Yeah,
we ran a screen and I ended up catching their safety. He looked at me at the last second and got him pretty good. I'm actually friends with the kid, Tyler Venables, but he looked up. He was like, "Damn, Tate." I was like, my bad.
What do you hit about 7 miles an hour when you get on the move? Up in 8, you get moving.
Are we talking about your GPS or mine?
My GPS. They said I'd break it if I ran too fast. So
before foot surgery, I'm pretty sure I hit 19 something.
19 something.
After foot surgery, I'm around 18. But like in pads on a good day, like averaging, if I'm really running, I'm hitting about 16, 17.
Last time I tried sprinting, it didn't go too well in practice time. That was terrible.
I always tell people, if you see me running outside of our facility, call the cops because something's chasing me. I'm in a bad situation if I'm running outside of our facility.
Yeah, no, I'd say same.
When was the last time you had a punt returned? It's been a long time.
Yeah, knock on wood. A little while ago.
Yeah, knock on wood, of course. Well, if you keep doing that, you shouldn't have to worry about running.
It's a great incentive to not have to run, I personally think. Like, if I do well, I get rewarded with not running. So I get to help the team, but also don't have to run. So it's a double positive. Just
be lucky you don't have to do fastball starts.
Well, I hear that every day.
Miserable.
What is that? Is that like just practicing fastball?
It's just like it's just 4 consecutive fastball plays at the very beginning of practice. And then the offense line has to jog all the way down the field to Indy. And by the time we get down there, we're gassed. We're all looking at each other like, holy shit, like what did we just do? Do they make you do the conditioning on Monday?
I did it freshman year. And
I'm going to have to go have a word with somebody about that, get you back out there.
No, it's superstition. We haven't done it for a while, and touch wood, we haven't had a return for a while. So
how did we do that year?
We did. I think we won, didn't we?
So what you're telling me is when you did the Monday conditioning, we won a natty, and when you didn't,
well, we do some form of conditioning. Like I have to do 10 leg swings on my right, 10 leg swings on my left. That's conditioning. And then I have to go across the front with 10, with the other leg after that for another 10. So more conditioning. And then...
like with your hands up against the wall?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. And then...
yeah, but that's real tough conditioning.
We finish off with 5 minutes of draining the lactic acid from our legs. So what do you call that? Where you lie down, you put your legs up against the wall.
Being a
Yeah,
specialist.
it's really hard. So
I don't hate specialists. I'm just jealous sometimes. For being honest, I'm just kind of jealous of what y'all do.
do you have any other positives? Obviously, we talked about the Clemson game. Getting out.
Positives, I'm just glad it's football season again.
Yeah.
You know, you get to go play games. Games are fun.
Yeah. Well, the weekend back in Sanford.
Pretty good show out,
The
too.
Dawgs were good,
They finally started selling they started selling alcohol in the stands now. I mean, in the stadium now, so fans are going to get a little bit more rowdy, bark at more people. I can't wait till I'm a fan so I can come back and bark at people.
Do you see that post about how they only had 100,000 beers?
Yeah, word around town is about only 30,000 of them got sold.
Really?
But I will say, for like a big game, like wait till like the Tennessee game, Auburn game, Mississippi State game, Tech game. I think there will be a few more than 30,000 sold.
Yeah, obviously we aren't doing our part enough then, I think.
You punted what, once this past weekend?
Yeah. Fourth quarter.
All right, let's say you're a few beers deep, hypothetically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
We know you would never do that, but
Sober.
like you're sitting on the couch one day, you're a few beers deep, and you want to walk out on your yard and punt a football. How would it go?
How many's a few? Because I've used that differently a few times.
Let's say you're feeling it pretty good.
I feel like I could go okay. Only not like maybe not to the degree of in-game seriousness, but it'd make me feel pretty flexible and pretty fresh.
Yeah, you'd be pretty loose. You'd be pretty loose.
I'd have good energy. I just got to catch the ball. So that's the main thing. Just catch the ball and
take the proper steps.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, muscle.
Not stumble. Stay on your line.
It's muscle memory. So, what about you? Do you think you could go out there and?
No, I don't. I think I would die. Actually, I would throw up all over the field. Get me like 4 plays in, I'm all over the
Doesn't
place.
sit well.
No, I don't think it. I don't think it would turn out too well.
What about? I have a little. It's not a superstition. I like to have a little mini Coke. I've got one here, but before the game, so I feel like I have sugar and have energy, and then one at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
What about Jack and Coke or something like that?
I mean, I think you could try that.
Punting.
You know, I heard you Australians can really put down some drinks.
I don't know. Me personally, I've never tried.
But I do always have a Diet Coke Friday nights before the game.
Okay.
Always.
What do you?
That our night meetings.
Now that we're back, do you have any other superstitions?
So before the games, it's kind of like a time superstition. Like I have to have this done by this time, this done by that time, this done by that time. And it's always like after we do whatever in the locker room, I go get taped. I kind of sit there and relax for a little bit. I have my ankles taped. And then I start getting dressed. I get LB to stretch me out every Saturday. I don't know why. I don't know. He's just good at it. He just has this like routine,
Yeah.
and it's unbelievable. But I wish I could just do what he does. Like it's like hamstrings, like leg to the side, leg to the other side. It's weird. I don't know, but I could just do that and not do normal flex and just be completely fine and be ready to go. And then I always put my pads on at the 10-minute mark. Like when Coach Sinclair says first group 10 minutes, I call Gage over and put my shoulder pads on.
Got to get a whole team.
Gage always helps me put my shoulder
You need
pads
a whole
on.
team.
Gage always helps me put my yeah. Then we go out for no, I just need Gage. Gage is good luck.
Okay.
He does a great job, getting my Velcro right and stuff. Velcro, it's really hard to put pads on when your jersey's stuck to Velcro on your pads.
I don't. That's one thing in my education of American football. I am greatly confused how there hasn't been an easier way to put on jerseys and pads that tight. Like I've seen 3 to 4 people use to get a jersey off people.
Oh my Lord. In high school, it took like 5 people to get those jerseys off. Like anybody.
Nick,
like once you sweated in those jerseys, it became like a second skin.
that wouldn't be very good for my body shape. My jersey's bigger this year.
It doesn't matter your body shape. If you have like one of those jerseys that actually fits right, it's impossible to get off.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Why can't there be? I was trying to think how I would do it. but like a zip or something, like a silicon, not silicon, but the like soft rubber zip up the side, so you could kind of put it on and in, buckle it in and zip up, or zip down, and then have like a little soft pocket to put the zip in. Like, so then you could just literally unzip and it falls off the pads and you're set. Like, has that been thought about?
Oh, probably. I mean, they used to have like tearaway jerseys.
Oh,
like, so like if you're running the ball, like you're running back and somebody comes up behind you and like grabs your jersey and they pulled it, your jersey would literally just tear off.
How long ago was this?
A long time ago. They used to have those. They got banned.
Yeah.
But I think the zippers and everything is just like they break mid-game. Like, what are you going to do?
Get another jersey. Duh.
I mean, those jerseys are not cheap, I don't think.
Well, what happens if a regular jersey
that
breaks?
One right there, I guarantee you is not cheap. Those jerseys, I've never – the only problem I've ever seen with a jersey since I've been at Georgia is truss. When we were at Missouri in 2021, his number fell off. And they threw a penalty because we had his 7 fell off of his jersey.
2 number 3s.
And yeah, we had 2 number 3s. And they threw a flag, and Truss was like, I didn't even know it was off. They went on the sideline and literally Sharpied the 7 onto his jersey, like Sharpie colored it in.
That's always my favorite when I see them both just backyard kind of garage fix-it ways of stuff like that.
Oh.
The way things that they'll be like, yeah, no, just draw it on with like a Sharpie.
Like our knee braces, if something happens with our knee brace, like mid-game, it's just a bunch of tape. Tape. Our REQ guys do a really good job of adapting like quick. With stuff with our equipment. Like, yeah.
Those boys got to be ready for
They come up
anything.
with quick solutions.
They're just ready for anything.
Like, I went up to Roger and was like, my helmet's not fitting right. Like, it was like, so we have those like custom fit, like the Speedflex helmets, like they scan your head, and I have my game helmet, which is the one I wore all last year and all spring, all of camp. And then like last week, they were like, here's your new helmet. Here's your new practice helmet. We're going to save this other one for your game helmet. I was like, okay, whatever. I get out to practice and I put it on. I'm like, this feels awful. Like my chin strap was messed up. Like something about the pads inside were messed up. And I was like, I called Roger. I was like, Roger, this feels awful. He's like, hand it to me. He hands it to me, fixes the chin strap, plays with some of the pads, hands it back, and it feels just like my other one. I was like, yeah, perfect. He was like, I was like, what was wrong with it? He's like, I don't really know. I just played around with it.
Just fidgeting.
Okay. Thanks, Roger.
I am excited for our next segment. Obviously, this will be a staple of the show. We used to do a version of it, but I think
this was probably one of our favorites.
I think we've upgraded it as well. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we put a little twist. I do like it. I do like this idea. I don't know what you're about to do, but I like it.
Obviously, we call it the Bulldog Blind Draft. For past viewers, they know it's based around giving 5 topics, and we will rank them without knowing what is coming next. Well, obviously, I'm first. I have the first topic.
You do have the first.
So,
I have no clue what this is yet. He wouldn't tell me before we started recording. I have no clue what he's about to do.
No, the text. But, the text went in the group. They were private. I'm going to start out. I think I've actually looked after you on this one. I think I haven't been bad. Like, it's not really a stitch up.
Yeah, don't start me off bad. Don't start me off bad in the first one.
Well, I'm sure after many shows, I'm going to have to start coming up with some crafty stuff. But in light of the name of the podcast, Mullets on the Mic, that is where I've got our first topic for episode 1 on, and that is the best hair in football. We're going a bit of everything here, but I'll give you the hair or the person, and then what hairstyle, because obviously it's kind of, some of them have had different hairstyles. But
yeah,
first off the bat is Randy Moss with the afro.
I was always a fan of that. I'm going 2. I'm going 2. See.
I'm gonna
obviously, I like if you're gonna have crazy hair, like it's got to pop. So Randy Moss having an afro, that was and Randy Moss was really good. So
he kind of made it. He makes it look pretty cool. I'm sure he could probably rock anything.
Yeah.
Number 2 option, Troy Polamalu.
See, I'm going to have to put him at 5. Only because I got tired of seeing his hair swung around on a Head & Shoulders commercial.
You've told us before that you want a Head & Shoulders commercial.
I do, and I want people to think the same way about my hair. I want them to be annoyed that I'm shaking it around on Head and Shoulders commercial.
That's something I don't want to see. I'll pay them not to put you on the commercial.
That's crazy.
Number 3, Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, ooh. I'm not a fan. I'm going to go 4. Trevor's like from where around I was, and he's had that forever. I'm just not a huge fan. It's too just like straight.
I feel like
it's too straight. Like
it's too straight. It is too straight. It's too like well looked after.
Flat. Like he doesn't have. It needs some texture to it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I've shampooed my hair for about 3 years since getting to America. Definitely, I definitely haven't. It's just water.
You shouldn't have said that.
Well, like, why do I need to shampoo it?
You have it shampooed to clean it. Your hair gets dirty.
How? I don't roll around in the dirt.
I guess you don't even sweat at practice either. But not washing your hair in 3 years is kind of crazy.
Well, I wash it every day. Like, it gets wet every day, and then I dry it.
Throw some shampoo in there. Come on now.
No, shampoo makes it like light and fluffy, and I don't like it. Water gets the job done. Okay, you've got him at, you said 4, right?
Yeah, so I've got 2, 4, and 5.
All right, you've got 1 and 3 left. For number 4, now this is a specific one, but Tim Tebow. But this was when he was at the Broncos. Did you see that haircut where it's like cut in the middle of the head, but he has like, you know the one?
This?
Yeah, that's the one.
Good God, that's awful. 3.
3. You've left number
That's
1.
horrendous. I forgot about that.
Tate, look at you telling me that you've left number 1 for the last option.
Who's the last option?
Number 5 written down on the sheet, unfortunately, is Tate Ratledge.
Even better. Yeah, that's a great number 1. That just played out perfectly. That played out how you didn't want it to play out, and I love it.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd think I'd go something crazy for the last one. That was my theory behind there.
See, after you hit me with the Tim Tebow, I was like, shit, I'm about to have something crazy as my number 1. The Troy Polamalu one you didn't like. Yeah, I caught you off guard with that one, I think, putting him at 5.
It's just wild.
Or 4, wherever I put him.
I think it's just because you want what he has. Of anyone, we have another good segment that will be a part of this show of the Mullet Mailbag.
But this is kind of a chance for y'all to send in questions to us for us to answer. It could be anything. I mean, not anything, but if it's keep it PG. If you don't, we probably won't be able to answer it. But
do you think that low of our listeners?
If they listen to us, then yeah, probably. They probably have the same sense of humor. So let's try to keep it PG. Me and Brett have trouble enough staying PG ourselves. We don't need any help from the questions being sent in. But yeah, really anything y'all want to send in, feel free to send it in. Whether that be to one of me and Brett's DMs. If you have a question for Brett, send it to my DM. I might ask him. And or DM our Instagram page, and we'll start answering those. Yep. So I actually look forward to that segment. I think that'll be a really cool segment to do.
Well, if I were a listener sending in a question for Tate Ratledge, I would want to know how or his thoughts on all the freshmen running around right now. Obviously, got to see a bunch of new faces on the weekend for a new season. So what's your thoughts on those boys?
I think especially on the offensive line, these young guys are doing their best to learn the playbook, learn their way around college football, kind of, because it's a big, especially up front, it's just a big transition from high school to college. Like you're facing a lot of these guys have never faced competition like that, or it's anywhere close to there. So now they are, and it's a big hurdle when they first get here. But they've done a good job of kind of accepting that and getting their head into the playbook and trying to learn how we do things. But of course, getting to see the young guys play on Saturdays is always fun. You see the struggles they've been through early on, just kind of see them out there actually having fun playing football again. And it's not at practice under a microscope where they know they're going to have to go in and watch it at film right after that. So it's playing in a game for them. I told them, I was like, it's football. You've been doing this your whole life. That's what you're here for. Go play it. And actually seeing them to be able to just go out there and play and have fun with football again, I think is a big part for them. And it was really cool watching them do that. And then, of course, we have Nate Frazier, our running back, who does not run the ball like a freshman.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. I enjoy blocking for him.
He goes all right. Yeah.
Yeah, he makes some cuts that I don't like. I'm watching film. I'm like, okay, he's going to hit it right here. No, he's not. He sees this little cutback and hits it, and he is gone.
Yeah,
but he has really good vision. He does a really good job, I think.
So it was good to see him.
He's been really impressive.
Yeah, I look forward to watching him for the year.
We got to see him in the Clemson game, and he had what, 2 explosive runs? I don't remember, but he's pretty good.
I feel, yeah. Obviously, as a freshman running behind you, you're a leader now, so you enjoying the leadership roles of?
It's different just because since I've been here, I've been with Sed, and obviously Sed's one of the best leaders I've ever been around. But I've had a good person to learn from, so he definitely made stepping into this role easier, but harder at the same time because I've never had to do it.
Yeah,
I was always just in a room with Sed, so Sed would say what needed to be said, and we'd go about our business. But now that Sed's not here, I've got to do it, and it's been different but good. I've enjoyed it. It's had its ups and downs. Just trying to figure out when to say something, when not to say something, how to approach a situation, stuff like that. But other than that, it's pretty good. How do you think I've done?
Yeah, good. It's funny, obviously, like I have these chats with you, so then what you like get up and
I hate talking in front of people too. That's like speaking in front of people, like I'm fine with it now. Like I used to hate it. Like you could put me in front of 10 people and I'd be sitting there sweating, stuttering. Now I don't have a problem with it.
Cash Jones has been the worst I've seen at public speaking. It's probably the most I've ever laughed in a classroom. And that's a great story we definitely got to have him on sometime, and I'll ask him for sure.
We do need to get Cash.
So I'll save the story for then. But I was crying up the back of the classroom because he like physically couldn't finish the speech. So, but yeah, no, I think you've done well. What I was wondering, obviously you get up there when needed to speak to the team or pre-game, whatever it may be. When do you think about what you're going to say? Are you just letting that go on the fly, or are you sitting in your room the night before?
I definitely think about what I'm going to say. Do I end up saying what I think I'm going to say? No, never. Before Clemson, I was like when me, Jalen talked or whatever, I was like, I'm going to say this. I didn't say any of that. It was just, I said what I said, and I don't even remember what I said. But I did. But
that's funny.
Yeah, I think about it. I do think about it. Like I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But I don't think I say what I've ever meant to say.
Well, it's a hard one because you just like once you're in it,
it's kind of like this. Like we start talking and we just get sidetracked.
Yeah. Well, like Coach Smart just kind of surprises me every day that he's able to talk so clearly.
That man can give a speech
so clearly and like have so many messages and so much like. So often,
he does a really good job.
I'm like, how does he just do this every day and still somehow make it?
It's like he never repeats himself. Yeah. I mean, like he does, but like not. You know what I'm saying?
You see why he's good. You see why, like.
Yeah, he pays attention to the details, which you can tell. He does a phenomenal job.
I always love it when like
he does
details. All right, he loves his details. He will hold on to something,
and it's the littlest thing that you don't think matters, and then like Coach Searles will get on to me for something during a week, and I'll be damned if it doesn't show up in the game. Like it was like you remember when I told you get on this angle on a B against this look, like a backside combo against this look, and I was like, yes sir. He's like, well, there it is. So there's a reason I raise hell about it. But I'm like, okay, I mean, good point.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. He holds on to it as well, and he won't forget it. Like, even if it's a week later, it'll just randomly come up. And I'm like, why are you still thinking about that? We now have damn good dog.
That's something good in your week that's happened to you this week. So
do you have anything from the week that was good you're happy with? I want 2. Can we get one from kind of games 1, 2, and then one from before camp when we had a life?
So before camp, I guess mine would be getting to go to the lake.
Which lake?
It was fun. Had a good time. But which actually it was Oconee, which it sucked too because I had just finished this part of my arm and it can't be in the sun. Like I'd literally just finished it. And it was for July 4th, and I just finished this part of my arm, and obviously it can't be in the sun. So I'm sitting there on the boat in the shade, long sleeves with like tape around the bottom of my arm so it doesn't get in the sun. And then from games 1 and 2, I mean, my damn good dog moment is definitely just the season being back around and getting to play football again. I mean, it's what we look forward to. It's what we work so hard for every year. So now that we finally get to do it, I think it's awesome.
Yeah. How did mum and dad go? Obviously, we talked about that, and we hadn't had the fallout of mum finding out about the tattoos yet.
She's found out.
I would hope. That's pretty hard to hide on a game day.
So I did this part all at once, and she ended up finding out from an Instagram picture.
Oh.
Never heard anything about it. But I knew she saw it because she shared the post. So I was like, damn. I really didn't want her to find out from an Instagram post from Georgia football, but she did. And then I did this part right here second. And I'm on FaceTime with her. And I sit my phone down to go do something. And I turn and walk away. And she's like, what's that on the back of your arm? I'm like, shit. Like, the way she just found out about this. And I was like, nothing. I'm just going to hang up the phone before you get really upset. And she was like, no, what is it? What's on your arm? I'm like, Mom, you don't want to know. I ended up showing her, and she wanted to start crying. And then I was like, I love you. And then she stopped. And then I got this done. Like this part.
Yeah, you hadn't heard her enough. You thought you just had to go back for some more.
And then she had no clue about it. And I was like, okay, when I see her, I'm going to wear long sleeves just so she doesn't see it. And it was hot that day. And I was supposed to, like, it was in Athens. We were supposed to go eat. It was hot. And I was like, screw this. I'm wearing short sleeves. And she saw me, and she was like, she looked like she's about to cry. And I just walked up and gave her a hug, and she was fine. And then later on at dinner, she's just like picking up my arm, like looking at everything. She's like, I hate this, right? Like, yeah, I do.
Did Dad doesn't have too many words. Did he have anything to say?
Dad doesn't like tattoos. He says the only people that had tattoos when he was growing up were prostitutes and sailors. So it's a culture. It's like a generation gap thing, I think, because like when they both grew up, tattoos were like frowned upon.
Yeah,
and now tattoos are like whatever. It's like a piece of clothing now, almost. To like, you can't like not hire somebody because they have tattoos. You can, but people don't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think it's just a generation gap with them. But Dad doesn't really care. He doesn't love it, but he's not gonna get upset about it.
Good. I got none, so I'll stay in their good books.
Now my sister wants them, and I think they'll die if she gets them.
I bet they'll blame you too. So they should. That's completely fair.
They will, because my mom was like, would you want your sister to have tattoos? I was like, Mom, I don't care. Like, I really don't.
Your sister's not going to go and get decked out and just like cover her whole leg though.
Then I told her I was going to get more, and she was like, no, please don't tell me you're lying. I was like, I'm getting more.
Well, sorry, Mum. I didn't encourage it. I told him not to do it. There's always trench talk involved with you. We have the segment back.
There is. I'm a pretty negative person.
We've gathered through our time together. But the segment is back, so I know it helps your week to let everyone know every bad little thing that's happened to you.
You know what's crazy? I don't think I have one. I actually don't think I have a trench talk this week.
Yeah, we won. That helps, I think.
Yeah, and it's really not like I've had a pretty good week. Like I don't have to go to I have class, but it's not bad.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Good. I think if I had to have one, we have months of trench talk we could have called back to. Maybe it was the running. It was the conditioning when I got back from Australia. Fall
camp, I guess if we're doing that whole time span we were gone, I guess I'll go like fall camp or like the stadium runs.
Yeah. That might be it. Running that just the whole time frame. No, obviously just happy happy to be back. So I'd say mine is definitely the conditioning once coming back from Australia.
I mean,
golf.
I guess I could throw like the Georgia weather in this year, like right now.
Okay.
Like it never fails. Like when we're like out there for walkthroughs and stuff, it's always cool. We got a nice breeze, but as soon as flex ends, it's hot as shit outside. I think Coach Smart controls the weather.
I'm convinced he doesn't because he would turn it up even more. But it was good getting to talk to you again.
I've enjoyed it. I'm glad we're getting this thing back rolling.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this thing goes.
You kind of go all Hollywood in the building once it's season time and act like you don't know me because I'm a specialist. So
I'm just jealous.
Obviously, that kind of brings us to the end. So cheers, guys, for tuning in. Obviously, it's awesome to be back. Probably lots more to debrief from the past and then also in the future. We got a big game this week that looking forward to on Saturday night. But that'll be it for episode 1. So thanks for tuning in. Tate.
Yeah, like Brett said, thanks for tuning in. I'm ready to get this thing rolling. We should have some good content coming up with some big games, starting the gauntlet of SEC play. But make sure you go follow us on all of our socials at Mullets on the Mic podcast. Ready to get this thing rolling. I'm excited to see where it goes.